Hey everyone, it's Adam. I just finished a live stream with John Barker from Here to Record, and I want to give you a little behind the scenes look at how I did the show. So, right now I'm looking at you from my 5D Mark IV video camera, or my actually DSLR that's I've turned into a webcam, but I'm actually behind a green screen. So, this video that you see behind me is just a video, but I can actually switch it to a lot of different things. So, for instance, I could switch it to this. And you'd be none the wiser that I'm behind the green screen unless you look very, very carefully. Usually I like to have this video behind me, but if I want to talk about like mechanical keyboards, I can just switch to this. Lately, I've been talking a lot about mix effect, so I have the mix effect background here for my shows. So how does this all work? Let's show you real quick. So normally, the green screen looks like this, and I have some lights down here that are shining to green screen. It's not the perfect key, but the great thing is that I have an Ultimat from Blackmagic Design, which is being used as my primary keyer. So we take a look at that. I'm going to switch over to this camera here, and you can see this is my rack. So I have the ATEM 2ME constellation right here. I have the Blackmagic Video Hub 20 by 20 12G, and this is what I am controlling using my new RouteEffect application that I was talking to John Barker about. We have the hyperdeck here and another hyperdeck here, which is actually doing the record. I have my Ultimat 12 HD right here, and I have a web presenter right over here. I'm not streaming this right now, but that's what the web presenter would be using for. And then down here, I have an Ethernet switch and then a power distribution unit and some front-facing SDI and HDMI USB ports. So I can access those without having to go all the way around the 9U rack that I have right here. So let me just rotate that again, just like that. So when I'm using the hyperdeck, I can actually switch. I'm using mix effect right now, but I can switch what's being shown as the background. You can see just in the background, it's changing on the hyperdeck, and it's also changing in the Ultimat because that's what's doing the keying. Okay, so let's go back to this mix effect blur right here, and then we'll come back to the main screen right here. So in terms of how I'm controlling this from within mix effect and route effect and the stream deck, let's take a look at my super source. So let's go switch over to this one here. So this is my super source layout that I was using with John Barker, and you saw that I had kind of this fake Zoom meeting just down below with 4 sources, and those are coming from my deck link card that's connected to my Mac Mini. So pretend those are like Zoom ISO participants. I'm just bringing them in, and then there they are in the Zoom meeting. And I can go up to the foregrid like this and like have the Zoom meeting just like this. Now you might be saying, Adam, I see you're running mix effect and you're using the constellation, and I see 6 boxes. How are you getting 6 super source boxes on your stream right now? And in fact, this is correct. This is SuperSource, and there are actually only 4 SuperSource boxes. But what I'm taking advantage of is the 2 upstream keyer DVEs right here. So if I actually turn these off, you can see they're turned off. Those are actually the 5th and 6th boxes. And so how am I animating these? So because I could do something like this and make them disappear, and then I can actually bring them back. And then in terms of my SuperSource presets, I'm actually making these go like this, and then they're coming like this. Like this. It's all very seamless. It's as if I have 6 boxes in my super source. And I'm taking advantage of the ability in Mix Effect to animate the DVEs. And I'm using Companion in a Stream Deck to combine all those things. So I can say, do this super source preset while also animating these 2 upstream keyers into view. So that's how I'm able to get this to look very, seamless in my videos. So let's take a look now at the Mac and how this is all possible. So let's switch over to this. And you see my upstream keyers are still active. I'll just kind of move those out of the way. So this is a companion that's controlling my stream deck right here. And we can see I've been pushing these buttons. I've been pushing Cam 1, RE All, and foregrid zoom. So just to show you what those are, I'm going to cut back to the super source. We're in the RE All. I'm going to click on foregrid zoom on the stream deck right here so you can see what's happening here. foreground zoom, RE all, and cam 1. So we come back to companion. Let's take a look at each of these buttons one by one. So for cam 1, it's pretty simple. I am calling the SuperSource preset Atom Ultimat, which is showing my, the main camera. And I'm also pressing these two buttons here, which is USK1 zoom 3 out and USK2 zoom 4 out. And if we take a look at what those are doing, that's calling, making sure that the USKs are on air, and it's calling this MixEffect OSC send message with multiple arguments. And this very long string and this very long set of arguments. So how is this being generated? Well, let's take a look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to actually show you this USK zoom 3 in. I'm actually going to push it on my Stream Deck right now, and you can see what happens. So first, it's going to set the style of the USK to use the DVE. It's going to turn it on air, and then it's going to animate it in like this. So you can see it move in and out. And I'm going to push this button down here, and you can see it animate away. So now we're going to go over to MixEffect and take a look at exactly what is happening here. So if we take a look at the upstream keyer for USK1, we see that it's on air right now, and there it is. So if I push this button on the Stream Deck for USK1 zoom 3 out, watch, you can actually get to see it move in and out. So how do we get that into Companion? So down at the bottom, there's this little section called Automations. And what this does is it takes the current state of the upstream keyer, DVE, or whatever upstream keyer you have set to Luma, Chroma, or Pattern, and it's going to put that into either a shortcut or give you the parameters that you use to paste into Companion. So we see here, we have MixEffect USK DVE full. That's the OC command we're going to use, and these are the arguments. Now, we don't have a custom animation set, so that's why this is set to 0. But if I set this to this, turn that on, I can set this to 500 milliseconds. And we see that it gets updated here. At least it should be updated. Right there. It will be updated. It's just not being updated. So if I click copy like that, if I go back to Companion, and this is the USK1 zoom in, 3 in, and we take a look at the parameters, I can just actually paste this in. Oops. Paste this in, and I can set this to 500. Okay. And then whenever I push it, it will animate. If I change this to say like 2000, which corresponds to 2 seconds, you'll see that it will animate in a little bit slower. See? 2 seconds. So we'll set it back to 500 milliseconds because that's what it was set to. Actually, that's 600 milliseconds. So that's 500 milliseconds. Just like that. So now it animates correctly like this. And I can make this one go away and this one go away too. So now when I go back to here and I bring in the RE all, these animate in properly. So I was able to basically do this for USK2 as well. And I set the in and the out. So whenever this one goes out, I kind of copy that and put that into a button in Companion, and I copy the state of that box and put that in Companion, and then do the same for the ins. And now I have 4 buttons essentially in Companion that I've created, and then I recall them over here. So again, this one calls, let me move these guys out, Atom Ultimat, and then I basically hide these guys. Okay. And then for the RE all, I'm going to call this preset the RouteEffect all, but then I'm going to bring in those upstream keyers. Okay. And then foreground zoom, I'm going to move those keyers out because I'm just showing 4 boxes of those zoom participants using the RouteEffect foreground. So one more time, I come back here, I can bring them all in. If I go to the foreground zoom, those 2 USKs will kind of animate out, and then the SuperSource boxes will be set to this. And then if I go back to this, that's just my camera here and RE all. And it's all very smooth and very nice. MixEffect allows you to kind of like go between your SuperSource layouts very quickly. But with Companion, you're able to combine kind of the upstream keyer animations with SuperSource presets, with setting other options within your ATEM switcher. Now, I was also demoing RouteEffect. So how I was doing that was I actually had MixEffect running in the background. So this allows me to use MixEffect and the Stream Deck because that Stream Deck is talking to this copy of MixEffect. So I was using the run in background feature. So now I can go to RouteEffect here and I can make this full screen, but I still have access to RouteEffect through this kind of picture-in-picture screen right here. So I could do auto, and you can see it changing, and I'm in control here, even though RouteEffect is currently the frontmost application. So I was demoing RouteEffect here. You can just see it here, and it's controlling the video hub or the ATEM switchers in real time. And what's cool about RouteEffect is that you can connect to multiple video hubs or ATEM switchers at the same time, and you can just switch between them pretty quickly. RouteEffect right now only works one window, one ATEM switcher. And you can see RouteEffect, I have a very customizable interface here with the buttons, the split view, the list view, the wheel view, crosspoint switcher, and the ability to actually have virtual outputs as well, which is combining multiple outputs into one, and that you can change at any time. So that is RouteEffect. I encourage you to take a look at John Barker's video that he posted, that we did earlier today, to see, kind of give an overview of RouteEffect and how it works and how it might work for you if you have a video hub, video router, or an ATEM switcher. One thing that I showed was video hubs, RouteEffect's presets to control video hubs. So if I push this button on the Stream Deck here for cameras, it's going to actually switch the inputs of the video hub that are being sent into the ATEM switcher to show the cameras that I have around this office right here. So if we go to the 4-grid zoom, you can see this is what it looks like right now. And if I push again this default video hub button on my Stream Deck, you'll see that it get reconfigured to the fake Zoom meeting that I have as my demo here. So again, coming back to here, we have in box number 1, we have the raw feed from the 5D Mark IV showing the green screen. Over on the, to my left right here is my M1 iPad Pro that's showing this angle up. You can see the multi-view monitor that I have right here. Down over here, we have the iPhone 15 Pro Max that's showing kind of my layout of my my rack. And then back there, we have an iPhone 10 that's running a camera that's showing just the back view of my office. So if we come back to, that's Companion here, and I'm controlling all those things from Companion that's running on a Stream Deck 32, just like that. So we go switch back to SuperSource, back to camera 1. And so that's kind of how I do my shows. I basically program a series of buttons on Companion, and I basically push them throughout the show. So I basically make custom buttons for each show that I do, depending on what I'm going to demo during the day. So in this case, it's just showing the 4-grid layout, and then kind of like the RouteEffect all with the fake Zoom sessions. And the buttons to kind of like move those upstream keys on and off, so I can get 6 boxes instead of the normal 4. So maybe you learned a tip from this video, and maybe I'll see some 6-box sources in some of your streams in the future. But if you like what you see, definitely subscribe if you haven't done so already, or hit that like button. I'd love to kind of see also comments in case you've learned something new. Leave them down below in the comment section. In terms of what's coming up next, I have some more videos about how to use RouteEffect coming up, and maybe a couple of videos about RouteEffect. People have been asking a lot about how to configure video follows audio, so I think I'm going to be making a video of that very soon now. At any rate, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.